Well, this is a bit of a weird video to do. The WrestleMania 36 preview and predictions. Personally, a bunch of these matches, I don't even know whether they've gone through or not because these have been taped in advance. I'm not looking at spoilers, so maybe a bunch of you know what's happened and you're thinking, oh, well, what a clown. This match happened, this match didn't, and he's predicting it anyway. But whatever's happened, I'm going to predict the card that is in front of me that is set in stone pretty much, I think. I don't know. It's a really weird WrestleMania. This whole 2 nights taped thing, where it was taped Wednesday and Thursday of this past week, but yet, because of the Roman Reigns pulling out, due to the virus thing, due to The Miz showing up sick, due to Andrade pulling out, the bunch of rumors that Edge pulled out, like, a bunch of these, like, rumors and stories, I don't really know if this card is set in stone or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and predict it regardless. I'll discuss each match on its own merits. Obviously, some matches are going to get more detail than others. Just a warning, King Corbin vs. Elias is getting no more than about a minute's worth of preview. Okay, this WrestleMania preview, it's going to be nowhere near as long as my Royal Rumble 2020 preview. That video was like an hour and like 10 minutes. And I just babbled on and on about all the matches. I'm in way too much detail. This WrestleMania coming up, in my opinion, is going to be the worst WrestleMania of all time. Now, that's a pretty, harsh precedent because, I'm saying they'll be worse than WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 11, WrestleMania 27, 29. In my opinion, it will be. Purely the no crowd, the taped, how it'll probably feel overproduced and unnatural, a bunch of the stuff. So, we'll see what it looks like on the night. I think Kevin Dunn is going to have a field day with this show. Just piping in sound effects, adding different camera angles. Like, he'll be chopping and changing camera angles every 2 seconds. It will just be completely overproduced. I feel like having the Boneyard match, having the Firefly Funhouse match, having Edge and Orton last man standing, it gives them, basis to really, go outside of just the PC, just the ring and the ringside area, and really try some things with this show. So I'll be interested to see how those matches turn out, specifically the Firefly Funhouse match. Because the Boneyard match is basically buried alive. That's what it is. But they can't have buried alive like a casket match, given all the connotations that has to, like, death, and given what's happening at the moment, that's not great to do. So, fair enough. But yeah, as a whole, this card, I mean, if the build was pretty good, I could probably be invested in it, because a bunch of these matches I'm interested in. The McIntyre vs. Lesnar build, I've thought has been good, I'd say. It hasn't been great at all. Like, one of the weeks on Raw, Drew McIntyre smashed Eric Rowan's, like, Halloween thing. I don't even know what to call it. His, like, spider thing in his cage. That was one of the week's build to McIntyre Lesnar. And a bunch of the weeks just been either Heyman cutting a promo or a McIntyre video package. So, the McIntyre Lesnar build's been but I'm still invested in the match because of who's in it. The match between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, those guys have been feuding since literally November. I'm just completely sick of that. I don't want to see it at all. Outside of that Rollins promo this past week on Raw, outside of that, I couldn't care less. So, that's that feud. Let's see, Cena vs. Wyatt. If that was for the road to 17 with Cena and the Universal title was on the line, then I'd care. But it's not, so I don't really. Like, I'm interested to see what the match comes off as. I'm interested to see who wins. But that's about it. As far as Undertaker, AJ Styles, the Boneyard match, I mean, it's going to be a buried alive match. It'll probably be overly cinematic, and they'll probably shoot it in a way that looks completely unnatural and forced. So that is what it is. I think, the winner should be, well, I'll get to it later. As far as other matches, Goldberg versus whoever, we don't know anymore. Like, deep down, I feel like they filmed Goldberg versus Reigns, and this whole thing's just a work. That's what I think. Because if they have, like, honestly, the fact that I'm even thinking this is pretty shocking, because Reigns, with his immunocompromised immune system, that's redundant, but his compromised immune system due to the leukemia, it should just be a foregone conclusion that, yep, Reigns sat out. But given when they made the announcement, a bunch of doubt crept into my mind that I think they did Goldberg Reigns anyway. And if they did, well, that's just going to piss off a lot of people. I think Goldberg versus Reigns, the build's been garbage. Goldberg destroying the Fiend in Saudi Arabia, what a disaster. So, there's that match. I mean, what other matches? Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. Genuinely, that's been built for 2 months, and I have not cared once about it. Whether that's a video package for Rhea on NXT, whether that's Charlotte in NXT, having a match with Belair, whether that's Rhea Ripley and Charlotte doing a promo segment on Raw. Like, there's no genuine reason to care about that match. It's just the two women that WWE are trying to put all their eggs into the baskets of just being forced into WrestleMania. And it's just, I don't care. This is the NXT Women's title. I don't care. So there's that match. Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, I couldn't care less about either. Genuinely, those two women are the most forced women on TV outside of Charlotte and Rhea. Like, all of these women's matches, I just don't care about. The SmackDown Women's title, the Fatal 5-Way, 5-Pack Challenge, whatever. Sasha, Bayley, Tamina, Naomi, and Lacey Evans. I don't care. Why should you care? If you watch SmackDown, they give you no reason to care. It's Lacey Evans getting annoyed at Sasha, and then Naomi's just a number one contender, and then Tamina's the wild card, which Michael Cole will proudly tell us 100 times at WrestleMania, I'm sure. So, there's those matches. The tag team title matches are just a mess. Both of them are. The Raw tag team title match. The Street Profits versus who? Who are they facing? Angel Garza and Andrade, but Andrade's out. So, what Austin Theory? Austin Theory and Angel Garza. Yeah, I'm sure that'll make a lot of sense on the night. Yeah, can't wait to see Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory at WrestleMania. That match doesn't even belong on NXT, let alone WrestleMania. So, there's that match. The SmackDown tag title match. I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I think it's like what even is the SmackDown tag title match? Because it's supposed to be Miz and Morrison versus New Day versus the Usos, 3-way. But then Miz was sick, and then I heard rumors it'll be, one of the Usos versus John Morrison for the SmackDown tag titles in a ladder match? Like, what? What? And then the singles matches, Otis versus Ziggler. I'm mildly invested, but at the same time, what makes that match and what makes the build is the crowd. When Otis eventually gets Mandy Rose, then it'll be a big thing with the crowd, but the crowd's not going to be there, so I don't really care as much. Elias versus Corbin, spammy, and then, Bob Lashley versus Aleister Black. Just don't care. So that's your WrestleMania card, and not to mention, Gronk is host, okay? Because we need Rob Gronkowski as the host of WrestleMania. Because we were all just asking, we were pleading, please, Bruce, let Gronk be the host of WrestleMania, please, Bruce. Like, no one did that. No one was asking for Gronk to be the host. Gronk's a 6'6" A-grade clown. He's like a 9-year-old in a 6'6" NFL player's body. Like, that's Gronk. That is Rob Gronkowski, okay? I don't take him seriously. He's not credible. He's not interesting. So, Gronk's the host of this disaster. It's going to take place over 2 nights. We have no clue what matches are on night 1, what's on night 2. We have no clue about any of this. Currently, there's a Raw and a SmackDown, which have both been taped. There's still to air before WrestleMania takes place. Personally, neither of them are going to really do anything to hype me up. Okay, I don't really care at this point. I'm completely over this build. I want the show to just have come and gone. I want to move on from WrestleMania. I want to see what they're doing after this, because this WrestleMania season's been the worst ever. Genuinely, the worst WrestleMania season we've ever gotten due to internal and external factors. I made a whole video on that like 2 weeks ago, so go check that out if you're interested. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the preview and predictions of each match. This card has 14 or like 15 matches. I don't even know. Some matches are probably getting cancelled or changed, whatever. I'm just going to get into these. So I'll start off with the match that we're all waiting to see. Elias versus King Corbin, the creation of Bruce on SmackDown. This match, what's the storyline? I honestly couldn't tell you. King Corbin was backstage like 3 weeks ago. Elias came over and said something to him. And then now it's just a heated personal feud. And then we got the segment last week on SmackDown, which I ranted about big time in the review. Elias singing that King Corbin's throne is a toilet and his crown's a turd, or whatever the dumb song was. So that was Elias's intense song. Corbin then shoved him off this platform, and then they cut 4 times, and then we saw Elias on concrete. So that's the build to this match. Personally, whether Elias wins or whether Corbin wins, it means the same. It means nothing, okay? Whoever wins doesn't get anything out of this. Whoever loses doesn't get anything out of this. Both of these guys have had potential, but Vince McMahon and all these guys, Kevin Dunn, Bruce, Michael P.S. Hayes, went out of their way to ruin them. King Corbin, like, I watched WrestleMania 21 the other day, because I'm going to review that show. Or maybe I have, I don't know when I'm posting this video. But I did the WrestleMania 21, like, watch through. And I'm watching JBL. I'm thinking to myself, King Corbin is like a D-Tech JBL. Okay, John Bradshaw Layfield was actually entertaining. He was actually genuinely hateable for the right reasons. When he was champion, people didn't want to just turn the show off. And granted, Corbin hasn't even become the champion yet, but God, if he ever does, I'm just giving up. So, literally, yeah, Corbin, I don't even want to see him. Elias, I don't care. Personally, I think they'll give Corbin this win. I feel like Corbin lost to Reigns like every week for like 6 months. I feel like they're trying to make Corbin into like the top heel guy on SmackDown. So I guess I'll give King Corbin the victory over Elias. But at the same time, this is Elias. What's Elias done in the last 6 months? Spanked Drake Maverick as Dana Brooke laughs. Beaten Sami Zayn, Nakamura, and Cesaro every week while he's teaming with Braun Strowman. Like, that's what Elias has done. So I don't want to see Elias win the match. I don't want to see Corbin win the match. I don't want this match to be happening. But if I have to make a prediction, King Corbin to get the win. So that's that match. Moving on to the other meaningless singles match, we've got, what? Is Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley still happening? Like, the Wikipedia card doesn't even say that's happening. So I don't even know what to base that off. I mean, do I predict it anyway? I guess I will, because, another website says it's happening. I don't even know. Pretty much Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. This feels like a random throwaway match in the second hour of Raw. Does this need to be happening at WrestleMania? Hell no. But to make a prediction, Aleister Black, Bob Lashley. Aleister Black should win this match. Now, if you want to have Bobby Lashley win and build him up to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam or something, that could be an avenue to go. But at the same time, it's Aleister Black. Just let him win this match at WrestleMania. As meaningless as the match is, let Aleister Black get the win, okay? If you're having Aleister Black lose here, that would be redundant. So, Aleister Black to get the win there. So those are the two meaningless singles matches. From here, I'll go to Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. This one, like, the whole beef with Ziggler, Mandy Rose, Otis, and then you have Tucker, Sonya Deville, all these people intertwined. Like, it's a decent little program. I don't know where Robert Roode's gone. Roode's just vanished in these past few weeks. But anyway, Otis versus Ziggler is pretty obvious what they should have here. But knowing World Wrestling Entertainment, they're going to ruin it. Okay, the obvious avenue is Otis wins, Otis gets the girl, and everything's sorted. Like, that would have been cool. That would have been a good way to go. But instead, I mean, I'm sure the company will have Ziggler win. Regardless, I'm predicting Otis to get the win here. He has his, like, big kiss with Mandy Rose. This great moment. And given how WrestleMania is shaping up, it's probably going to be the best moment at WrestleMania. So, Otis to beat Ziggler. That's that match. The match will probably be like 4 minutes. I don't see that going any longer than like 5 minutes. It's Ziggler's first ever WrestleMania singles match, which is bizarre to think, given how overrated Ziggler is by the smart community. But yeah, Otis should beat Ziggler, so it'd be good. I mean, now what match to go to here? I guess go Raw Tag Team titles. The Street Profits defending their championships against Angel Garza and, I mean, it's either Andrade or Austin Theory. I think it's Austin Theory. I think that's what they announced. But then again, Andrade, I think he pulled out due to quarantine. I don't even know. This show is just a disaster. The Street Profits are retaining these titles. No way Angel Garza and insert talent here are going to win the titles. Okay, Angel Garza he should be winning the US title. And if everything went the way I said it should have gone, we have Angel Garza winning the US Championship at this show. Instead, that's not happening. Instead, the B-Tech, Monday Eddie Guerrero, Angel Garza, he's not going to win the title, the US one. Instead, he's in a tag title match where his partner makes no sense, and Austin Theory, they're just going to lose the match. It'll probably go like 10 minutes. Probably be a pretty good match because Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory, they're all good in the ring. So the match will be good, but there's no reason for it to be happening. There's no reason to care. They shouldn't even be at WrestleMania. Okay, the Street Profits will retain their titles. So that's that match. From here, the SmackDown tag titles. This is another one. Another shambles. The Miz and Morrison apparently defending against the New Day and the Usos in a triple threat ladder match. But at the same time, all the story was on Thursday and Friday was that the Miz was sick. And that the Miz had to pull out of WrestleMania because he showed up with a fever. That was the story. That was confirmed by a bunch of sources. So I'm assuming the Miz did not compete. So would they have done a triple threat ladder match where it was John Morrison versus one of the Usos versus probably like Kofi Kingston for the tag titles of SmackDown? I think that's the avenue they would have gone with. If they went with this triple threat ladder match, I mean, fine. Because it actually feels like WrestleMania. But I'm presuming they just didn't go with the triple threat ladder match because the Miz had his, fever. So probably Morrison in like a triple threat ladder match versus an Uso and probably Kofi Kingston, and they probably flew around for like 10 minutes in a ladder match. And then my prediction to win this, I think the Usos win the SmackDown tag titles at WrestleMania. That's what I think, because the Miz and Morrison, if they keep the titles, I'd be baffled. They've had a worthless reign. They won them at Saudi Showdown, proceeded to lose the very next night to the Usos. Then the next week in the Gauntlet match, they lost like third. The champions couldn't even make the finals of the Gauntlet match. And then they barely somehow retained in the Elimination Chamber. And then they've done a couple of garbage segments in front of nobody. And that's been their title reign. So get the belts off of Miz and Morrison. I feel like the New Day, I just don't see them winning the titles back now, because they just had them like a month ago. I think the Usos, they haven't won the SmackDown tag titles or the Raw tag titles in ages. So I feel like giving them the WrestleMania moment, having them win the titles, that'd be something cool. That'd be a cool WrestleMania moment for the Usos, winning the tag belts. So that's what I think is going to happen. The Usos win the tag titles. Whether that's because Jimmy or Jey Uso compete in a single style in a ladder match, or whether that's because it's a tag team ladder match. However they do it, I don't know. I don't really care. The Usos win the tag titles. So that's my prediction. From here, moving on to... Oh, wait, hang on. I forgot this match was even on the show. The Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn defending against Daniel Bryan. This one, incredibly obvious match to predict. Daniel Bryan will win the Intercontinental Championship. This will actually be a pretty cool, match. Personally, Sami Zayn is competed in, one singles match in the past, 10 months. That was, last July against Aleister Black from memory. Sami Zayn, really, he should not be the champion right now. The only reason he has the title is because Strowman had it taken off him, which was really good. I mean, personally, I'm happy that Strowman's not the champion. As for the Intercontinental Championship match itself, it should go probably 10 to 15 minutes. Should be a pretty good match. Bryan and Zayn, two favourites amongst the smart community, the in-ring guys. Both of them, I mean, they're hardly what I think of when I think of main event pro wrestler. But, I mean, both of them, Zayn especially, is entertaining as far as, on the mic. Bryan, not so much. But then again, both of them, it should be a good match. Bryan should win the Intercontinental Championship here. He won the IC title at 32 in the ladder match, or 31. No, 31 in the ladder match. He'll win the IC title here at 36. So, Zayn to lose to Bryan, new Intercontinental Champion to be crowned. I feel like after this, we could have Gulak turn on Bryan, and we have Gulak versus Bryan for the IC title. Or, you could go the avenue, which I wouldn't do this, but you could do it. You have Sami Zayn, he has Nakamura and Cesaro in his corner. Bryan, he's looking like he's about to win the title. And then Drew Gulak costs Daniel Bryan the IC title. Gulak aligns himself with Sami Zayn. Zayn reveals that Gulak's been in his back pocket all along. This has been one big ruse to keep the title on Zayn. Now, if they did that, that'd be awesome. But that's too much creativity for Bruce. So in the end, we'll get Zayn going down to Bryan. Bryan is the champion. So that's my prediction there. As far as the other matches, I guess I'll go to the Boneyard match. So the Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the Boneyard match. This one, I mean, I don't know. It's a Bury Alive match. It'll probably be overly cinematic. Probably be 175,000 camera cuts, knowing Kevin Dunn. That's what I'm predicting from this match. I mean, the storyline going in where AJ Styles has been exposing the Mark Calloway for not being the dead man anymore. Showing off that Twitter video of The Undertaker and Michelle McCool with the tiger, which I did not need to see. I did not need to see a 55-year-old Mark Calloway shirtless in a pool with a tiger. That was just bizarre. AJ Styles mentioning Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool. I like this kind of idea and program, but at the same time, I feel like this should have happened at WrestleMania 32. Genuinely, Styles comes straight into the WWE at 2016, and he's immediately ripping into The Undertaker. That right away gives fans who don't know Styles a real impression of, oh, this guy must be legit. He's really calling out the dead man. Oh, what is this? So then, fans look into AJ Styles and they're more interested. Instead, they had AJ Styles come into the company in 2016. Jericho just cut promos for him every week, talking about how great Styles was in, Japan. It didn't allow Styles to do anything, of meaningful note. So instead, we got AJ Styles versus Jericho, when we should have got AJ Styles and Undertaker at 32. But instead, we got Undertaker, Shane, and Styles as Jericho. Anyway, this match is happening here. It's a Boneyard match. It's probably going to be overly cinematic, overly done. Just like the House of Horrors thing at Payback 2017, Wyatt and Orton. It was horribly overdone. I expect this to be just like that. Incredibly overdone. In the end, for my prediction, I think The Undertaker is going to beat Styles. I don't see Styles beating Undertaker at WrestleMania. even though this is like a 55-year-old version of Undertaker, I still don't feel like Styles is going to beat him. Because you've got to remember, Undertaker's lost at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I just don't feel like AJ Styles is going to join Taker and Reigns and Lesnar on that list. So Undertaker's going to win the Boneyard match. He'll bury Styles alive, and then Styles will come back the next week and be completely unfazed and act like it didn't happen. Undertaker, he'll probably go off TV for another couple of months. He really should retire. But, oh well. The Boneyard match, it doesn't really ode to having a big evil Undertaker in this match. It'll just be the dead man again, and then he'll bury Styles, and that'll be the end of that. Because if the company was creative, Styles would beat Undertaker, Undertaker would come back as Big Evil, and they have like one final match with like Aleister Black or something, and then he can finally retire. But instead, we'll have Undertaker will just beat Styles, Styles will come back the next week as if nothing happened, Undertaker, he'll then show up for the Saudi Showdown show, Crown Jewel, all these Saudi shows, so that's what we'll get. So that's the Boneyard match. Moving on to... which match to go with here? Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. Let's get this one out of the way. This one... Personally, I couldn't care less about it. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Really? This is still going. Like, this is a match which, if I was booking it, I would have done this at the 2020 Rumble pay-per-view. I think at the Rumble, this would have been cool, because at that time, this feud had some momentum. But then you did, like, 6-man tag after 8-man tag after 6-man tag after 8-man tag, week after week in February. You hit March, and you go to these Performance Center shows where it's just Rollins cutting promos. Granted, the one last week was great, but outside of that, I haven't cared about this storyline since December. Like, in December and bits of January, I was enjoying this Disciples thing with Rollins, and then Owens and Joe, but Joe got suspended for a wellness policy violation. Rollins, he's losing a bunch of his heel momentum. Like, he's not that interesting to watch, so Rollins and Owens, I'm going to predict, Rollins and Owens, who needs a win more? Owens needs the win more. But this is WWE, so they'll probably have Rollins win. Personally, I think Rollins should win, because he needs a win to validate himself as this big heel, like, monster. Granted, Owens probably deserves a WrestleMania win, but at the same time, it's World Wrestling Entertainment, I don't think it really matters. Like, Owens, he's a promising babyface, but he never can get that big win, so this would be a great opportunity for him to win. I think he should win. Kevin Owens should beat Seth Rollins here, but I feel like it's World Wrestling Entertainment, Seth Rollins will go over. But no, I'm going to predict Kevin Owens, but I think Seth Rollins will win. So I'm going to predict Owens, but I think Rollins will win. So that's that match. Oh God, I got the 3 women's matches to predict. Jesus Christ, I don't want to do this. So SmackDown Women's title match. Bayley defending against Lacey Evans, Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. It's apparently 5-way elimination. Yeah, it's an elimination match. It's fatal 5-way. Honestly, I can't be bothered seeing this. I feel like a match like this, you either have Bayley come out first, beat Naomi, beat Tamina, and then Lacey Evans or Sasha Banks beats her or something. I don't even know how they're going to book this. Honestly, I could not care less. As long as Tamina doesn't walk out champion, or Lacey Evans, that's my priority. Personally, I think they're going to put the title on Lacey Evans. That's what I think they're going to do. Give Lacey Evans this big WrestleMania moment. Lacey wins the title. That's what I think they're going to do. And then you can have Lacey Evans versus, I don't know, Lacey versus Tamina for the title. That's what I think they'll do. No, you probably all, have waves of nausea thinking about that, but that's what I think Vince and Bruce will do on SmackDown. Personally, what I do, you have Bayley beat Tamina, beat Lacey, beat Naomi, Sasha Banks comes out and then beats Bayley and wins the title. That's what I think they should do, and that's what I'm going to predict. I think Sasha Banks will win the SmackDown Women's title. That's what I think they should do. That's what I'm going to predict. But if Lacey Evans wins the title, don't be surprised. If Tamina wins the title, expect a big rant. So that's that match. Sasha Banks to walk out SmackDown Women's Champion. That's what they should do. Give Sasha Banks a WrestleMania moment. Have her beat Bayley and win the title. But will they do that? I doubt it. So that's that match. Moving on to... we'll go Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. The NXT Women's Championship's on the line. It still baffles me that Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair is happening. I don't know why it's happening, but then again, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair is going ahead, so I guess we can't really complain that much. I don't know. I mean, it was set up on February 3rd when Charlotte Flair just shut down defending or competing for the Raw or SmackDown Women's titles, and then she instead went after Rhea Ripley. So then we got Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley build on NXT. which I can only presume was to try and pop a rating against AEW. That failed miserably. And then ever since, we've just gotten video packages. We've had nothing of note between these two. There's no genuine beef. There's no hot angle where, like, Rhea Ripley, like, ambushes Ric Flair or something. Like, if you're going to do Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, be creative. Have Rhea Ripley get really, like, personal with Charlotte Flair. I know she's a babyface, but try something. Have Rhea Ripley beat up Ric Flair. Ric Flair's like 70 years old. He's like a geriatric old man. That would make a good angle. Have Rhea Ripley beat up Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair beats up someone or does something really personal to Rhea Ripley. Charlotte Flair finds Rhea Ripley's boyfriend and just assaults him. Do something. I don't know. Have Charlotte Flair visit Rhea Ripley's hometown and, do something. I don't know. Anything. This storyline's given us nothing. It's been Charlotte Flair saying that Rhea Ripley is entitled. And then Rhea Ripley saying that I will make a name for myself at WrestleMania by beating you, Charlotte. Like, that's all this is. It's just, there's no reason to care. So, at the end of the day, I'm going to predict Charlotte Flair is going to beat Rhea Ripley. Now, either way, whoever they have win, it's going to feel incredibly forced, because if Rhea Ripley beats Charlotte, granted, I want to see that, but even then, it would feel like they're just forcing Rhea down your throat, having her beat Charlotte at WrestleMania this early, and then if you have Charlotte win, it's just going to be a blatant ploy to give her another title reign on her resume, trying to get her further closer to 17, so she can, beat her father's record. So, I feel like they're going to have Charlotte Flair win the title. It'll just be Vince McMahon having Charlotte win the NXT Women's title, and then there'll be no long-term booking as a result of that. I think they'll probably have Charlotte win the title for a WrestleMania moment, million quotations around moment, and then Charlotte will vacate the title. That's what I think they'll do. But Rhea Ripley should retain, so I'm going to predict Charlotte, but I want Rhea Ripley to win. As for the Raw Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch defending against Shayna Baszler, just let Shayna Baszler win the title and be done. I'm just over Becky Lynch. She needs to have her hiatus from TV. She really does. Shayna Baszler needs to just make her submit or do something. Have Shayna Baszler do to Becky what Brock did to Cena at SummerSlam 2014. Just have Shayna Baszler destroy Becky Lynch. Just absolutely brutalize her the whole match for like 10 minutes. Just make her submit. Have Becky Lynch tap out miserably in the middle of the ring. Have Becky Lynch go off TV for a few months. Then you can have Becky Lynch come back and have the rematch for Shayna at SummerSlam. That's what you can do. Have Becky have a few months off TV. We're all sick of her. Get her off TV. Have Becky come back as this triumphant babyface. Make her feel, rejuvenized and revitalized before she takes on Shayna Baszler. That's what I'd do. Shayna Baszler wins the title. Her reign, Shayna Baszler and Natalya, you can do that match. Shayna Baszler versus Asuka, you can do that one. You can have Shayna Baszler beat Alexa Bliss brutally. Stuff like that. Could maybe do Shayna Baszler Ronda at SummerSlam. I'd like to see that, but I don't know. Shayna Baszler wins the title. And then we're down to the final few matches, the four big ones. John Cena versus The Fiend, Firefly Funhouse match. Honestly, this is the match I'm looking forward to third most on this show. I'm most interested to see what they do with this match, because going in for the past couple of weeks, there's been all the stories that this will be really cinematic and really interesting to watch, because they're going to really get creative with it. But at the same time, this is World Wrestling Entertainment, and what do you think they're realistically going to do? Personally, I think it's going to be Vince McMahon in a director's chair with a megaphone shouting at Cena and Wyatt what he wants them to do, and those guys just are forced to act it out. That's what I honestly think we'll get, Cena and The Fiend. I think the match itself, if they're doing a cinematic thing, should be really awesome, but I just don't feel like it'll be that way, so regardless, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, needs to win. Okay, Cena does not need to win this match. He really doesn't. John Cena is perfectly well and good, putting The Fiend over and vanishing to do Fast and Furious, or whatever The Fiend wants to do. So, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt to beat John Cena, the Firefly Funhouse match. Honestly, I have no clue what they'll do for this. I really don't. Hopefully, it's not just like that thing they did with Seth Rollins, where Rollins invaded the Funhouse and then burned it. If it's anything like that, I don't want to see it. Please just don't have something like that. Have it be really creative and cool. Have, Cena show up somewhere and then The Fiend attacks him and they have a match, like a warehouse or something. I don't know. Get creative with it. Do something well, okay? Have The Fiend bounce back from that burial in Saudi Arabia to Goldberg. That's what you need to do. Will they do it? I honestly think Cena might win this match, but, Wyatt should win. So, Bray Wyatt to beat John Cena, that's my prediction. As for, I guess I'll do Edge Orton. Edge vs Randy Orton, last man standing match. This match is the match that I and most people are most excited for heading into WrestleMania 36. Okay, these two guys have done everything in their power to make this engaging, entertaining, fun to watch. They really have. They've put so much into this storyline, and hopefully, for their sake, it turns out to be great at WrestleMania. I think it should be great, because there's no reason it shouldn't. Okay, these guys have so much talent, so much ability, their storytelling has been second to none. Edge, his emotional return at the Rumble, Randy Orton just taking him out the night after, that brutal ending to Raw. Then Randy Orton with the Matt Hardy stuff, Randy Orton with Beth Phoenix, Edge coming back getting revenge, Randy Orton then addressing Edge, Edge cutting a passionate promo in the PC, Randy Orton addressing Edge's challenge, and then we get the match at WrestleMania, last man standing. This should be a war. It really should be. I can't wait to see it. I think last man standing is a great stipulation for it. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be Edge versus Orton. I can't wait to see it. It's the one match I'm really, really looking forward to. I'm excited for McIntyre Lesnar, and I'm looking forward to Cena Fiend, but no match I'm looking forward to more than Edge and Orton. My prediction for this is Edge. I think it's the logical way to go. If you have Orton win, I'm not going to be pissed off though, because given how good the build's been, I'm fine with whoever wins. So Edge to beat Randy Orton, his first match back, should be great. Can't wait to see it. So that's last man standing. The final two matches, the World Championship matches. First off, Universal Championship, Goldberg defending against Roman Reigns. It was supposed to be. I don't know whether they've done the match or not. I mean, maybe Goldberg has gone down to Roman Reigns, Reigns wins the title, and then they've taped it, and then they're trying to work the fans by having Roman Reigns say that he's not doing the show. That's what I think they could have done. Granted, if they haven't done that, then that's the right way to go. If they swerve us and have Reigns actually win the title, and then everyone just backlashes, that'd be a terrible move for the company. That would make no sense. Having Roman Reigns win the title, and everyone just hates on the company. That would be an absolute mess, an absolute disaster, but I can see them doing it. This is WWE. I would not put this past them. Having Roman Reigns beat Goldberg in a taped format, even though we think Reigns is pulled out of WrestleMania. So I can see that happening. I really can. But at the end of the day, my prediction is that they're going to bring in someone else to do this match. I feel like it's going to be Braun Strowman, sadly. As little as that makes sense, this is World Wrestling Entertainment. They're incredibly uncreative at this company. They could not care less. World Wrestling Entertainment, they're just going to put in Braun Strowman, ignoring the fact that Braun Strowman's danced with the New Day, had instruments matches with Nakamura, Zayn, and Cesaro for 3 months before losing the title to Sami Zayn a month ago, and then they're going to bring Braun Strowman out of obscurity to beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. More than likely, that's what they're going to do. Okay? If Goldberg walks out of WrestleMania as champion, no matter what they do, I'd be shocked. Whether that's having Roman Reigns win the title and swerving the fans and making us think that Reigns didn't have the match, even though he did. If they did that, then I'd lose all respect for the company, even more. You could have Reigns do that. I don't want them to, but they could. You could have Goldberg not defend it, which I doubt they'll do. You could have Goldberg lose to Strowman, which I think they're going to do. So Braun Strowman is going to win the Universal Championship under these circumstances, in front of no one on 2 hours' notice, because Reigns pulled out due to his immunocompromised immune system. Or you could get creative and have Matt Riddle versus Goldberg, which would be awesome, but they're not going to do that, no chance in hell. Or you could do Keith Lee. Genuinely, Braun Strowman becoming Universal Champion is garbage. I think if you're going to do that, No Mercy 2017, or WrestleMania 34, or Crown Jewel 2018, those are your options, but you didn't pull the trigger on any of them. You just had Brock win. So as a result, now when Braun Strowman beats Goldberg, I'm not going to care less, okay? He's just going to be a transitional champion so that Roman Reigns can win the title from Braun Strowman, and then you can do Reigns versus Fiend, or Reigns versus Corbin, or whatever you can do on SmackDown. Have Reigns as champion heading into SummerSlam. It's just a transitional thing. Goldberg's going to lose the title here. Whoever it's to, I don't know. If it's Reigns, it's Reigns. If it's Strowman, it's Strowman. Whatever. So that's that match. And then we move on to the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. WWE Universal... Sorry, no, that's not the Universal title. Sorry, WWE Championship. Not that there's a difference. They're both just terrible-looking championship belts. So Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. WrestleMania 36. I think this should main event one of the nights. It really should. If you don't have this main event, you'd be just a blithering idiot, which is what Bruce is. So then again, it probably won't main event. I think this match... The match itself would be pretty good. I think... I don't know what the match will be like. Hopefully it's not like Triple H Batista at WrestleMania 21. I think it easily could be. They could go down that avenue of just having the the face-to-face for like a couple of minutes, and then it's just Brock beating down McIntyre, and then McIntyre hits some power moves and wins. That's what you could do. I mean, you could make it like Goldberg Brock from 33. I hope they don't. I hope this goes like 10 to 15 minutes, and it's like a really hard-hitting physical war with McIntyre coming out on top. That's the avenue you should go for this match. Personally, that's what I'd do. You have McIntyre and WrestleMania Night 1 or Night 2 standing tall with the championship. That's what I think you should do. Will they do it, though? Probably not. My gut feeling says Brock Lesnar is going to win this match, which would be the worst possible booking route you could go, but it's World Wrestling Entertainment. I wouldn't put anything past them, so Brock versus McIntyre. I'm going to have Drew McIntyre win the title, okay? Drew McIntyre winning the title is the way to go. If you don't have McIntyre win the title now, don't even give him the title at all. This is your chance. Strike the iron's hot with Drew McIntyre. Before you change your mind and lose interest on him, give him the title, okay? It's already bad enough that he has to win this in front of no one. Just give him the belt already. So my prediction's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre needs to win, and he's my prediction. So that's my WrestleMania 36 preview and predictions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, sub if you did. Which match are you most looking forward to? If you made it this far in the video, big shout out to you. What match are you most looking forward to? Do you care about this show at all? If you do, why? Why would anybody care about this show? Are you even going to watch this show live? Are you just going to watch some highlights? What are you going to do? What are your predictions? Leave them down below. Like, comment, sub. You guys know the drill. See ya.